All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming back. Um, first thing, let's talk about Ethan's got a cold.
Well, hold on. First thing, one of us is dying from sickness. Guess who it is? You win $1 million.
Guess who it is? It's Ethan. It's
Yeah.
Ethan. So yeah, there will be intermittent coughing. Don't worry about it though. Because you're here for the fucking content. So yeah, we want to thank you for coming back. This is episode 2 of our podcast adventures. Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about.
How's your week been, Carl?
Yeah, it's been pretty nanners. I had a few midterms this week. And so I had on Friday a midterm, a paper, and a project due on the same day. And so that was an interesting experience, and I didn't get a lot of sleep this week. But I feel like I took today to rest and sleep, and I feel pretty back to normal. So I'm all tip top. What about you? How's been your week?
I don't really remember too much.
Fair.
But I stayed up pretty late most nights doing this application so that I can go to Nicaragua, and also just schoolwork and homework, and I'm not taking very good care of myself, so I'm pretty sick. And then, also on Friday, you, myself, and Eddie went to the airport, and you exchanged some euros. And then we almost got pulled over for doing a U-turn that wasn't legal.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting experience.
Except for some reason, the cop just pulled up next to us and winked at us and smiled.
Yeah, that was weird. It was considerably weird. Cause I was all right, we're gonna get our asses pulled over. Cop swerves a bike, goes up to exactly our speed, turns over, smiles, winks, and then drives off.
That was pretty strange.
So, also by the way, the band's playing in the background today, Mother Falcon. So. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Mother Falcon. Hopefully they get some new fans.
Yeah. They're not a very big band, so hopefully.
Oh yeah, and then right after that I got a tattoo. A pretty impulsive tattoo.
Yeah.
But it was...
Let's not forget that.
It's... I wanted it for sure, and I'm glad I have it, and it looks awesome.
It does.
So that's cool, and I look at it a lot, because it's only been 12 hours, but yeah. And, yeah, it's just kind of nice to have something permanent on your body that isn't going to change, basically. Because when you grow older, you're going to lose everything you have.
Dark.
Sort of. Or, you're going to lose a lot of your physical abilities, and, nothing about your body's going to be the same.
Holy shit.
Or the people that you really know. And so, yeah, then you got a tattoo. And it's from your youth, and it's you look I feel like the younger you get a tattoo, the better, because then you can look back on it with nostalgia easier. Maybe?
So yeah, let's just from us to you, the younger you are, you get a tattoo, the better. It's just go out right now. Well, preferably after the podcast.
That's always. That's just there's no.
That's a unilateral
rule. To that rule. Yeah.
Solid. Yeah, I don't know about you, but today. For me personally, today has been contrasted with my youth and then where I'm at today. It's been a pretty weird experience. It's gonna sound kind of, I don't know, but I was looking at poetry that I'd written a really long time ago, and music that I used to listen to years ago, and it's just I'm at a lot different of a place, than I was before, and
yeah.
Pretty grateful for that, and also almost remiss that oh, maybe I should have done this different, maybe I should have done that different, but at the end of the day, I guess it made me who I am today. So
it's always good.
That was today. It was kind of a weird experience, to be fair.
Yeah. Whenever I think of, I have weird thoughts when I think about youth, or my youth in particular.
How so?
Because, the last, when I was young, basically, this conversation's going to get oddly dark.
So, again...
Do we want to take it in this direction?
Listen, everyone, seriously, on a real note, if you're here, you're here for the realness. Okay? You're here for the non-bullshit, so... we're gonna get dark. What's
well,
up?
I'm not trying to get dark.
No, but just if we're gonna take it there, it will go there, unmitigated.
Unmitigated, right? Well, I don't know. I think I've kind of distanced myself from my youth in a lot of ways because, like, when I was growing up, one of my friends, like, named Kyler Yelverton, died from cancer, like, in my friend group when we were young, and then also, like, my other best friend in that friend group shot himself in the head, like, a year ago. So it's just, like, whenever I think of my youth, it's like, well, those are, like, two of my 4 friends that, like, I spent, like, a lot of my time with from, like, from, like, 7 to, like, 11 years old. Your youth, basically. So that's...
No, yeah, for sure.
Sort of, I don't know. So I guess I kind of try to act more mature so I don't have to think about... I don't know, maybe.
You think that, like, actually comes across in, like, how you act in the future so that you don't have to necessarily think about your youth, or do you think you just try to mentally have cognitive dissonance about it?
Probably a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. That's
probably.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I think about my youth, yeah.
I know, it really takes you there.
Yeah. I guess let's just go for it. So, okay. God, my youth was ever evolving. You know, very very every.
Also, we're young as fuck right now.
Yeah, but I mean, just like when I was younger, it was more like when I think of my youth, I think of anger. Actually, like I think of me being very angry all the time. But as we get further in, I think of like more sadness. And I think that has really come across in obviously the way that I've acted and like discourse that I've had with people and the way I engage the world and in the totality of circumstances. And so, you know, when I was really young, like, you know, stuff happened in my life that I was pissed like all the fucking time. You know, I wanted to fight everyone, fight everything. I was just so angry. I remember being in 6th grade, and someone said something like pretty racist to me. I'm black, and and I like would get so angry all the time, and then like I would like start to cry. I don't know, like my eyes would water. Wouldn't even be crying because like I wasn't sad. I was pissed off, and my eyes would water. And then they would think I was crying, which would make me even more pissed off, and my eyes would start to water more. This is basically like just a shitstorm. You know what I'm saying? Like I just be, like so that was younger years. Well, not to like, oh, it was just only anger. Like, we're gonna take this to a real fucking talk level. Like, when I was in 3rd grade, I think it was, I used to go outside my cafeteria every day and look up at the sky. And this is when I believed in God. I used to like ask God to kill me. So like that was a reoccurring motif. I live my life in extremes. You know what I'm saying? Which I guess makes sense because I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But, you know, like, I just kind of, either I was on, like, just, yeah, so.
On the edges.
Yeah. So I don't know if I haven't tried to, like, distance myself. I don't know if I even really can, really.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's just so much of myself that's back there that I'm almost forced to look back and, like, see what's happened. Yeah.
When I was like 8, I think it was, my dad got fired from his job in Las Vegas and had to move to California for a while. So, like, while he was gone, it was my brother, sister, and mom living in our house in Las Vegas trying to sell our house. So it was kind of strange because, like, didn't really have or our dad moved, so it was like, you know, classic, like, all right, your dad's off to war, you gotta be the man of the house now. Like that sort of mentality. So I was expected to fulfill, like, a lot of responsibilities that I didn't have before, sort of, with helping my brother and sister do things, and helping my mom get the house ready for open houses. Because for a period of about like 6 months or so. Well, I can't remember any time frame specifically, but like we lived in a house with like that was all boxed up and needed to be like 100% ready to show to potential buyers and stuff like that. So that was kind of an accelerant in terms of how I like grew up. I felt like that made me feel older sooner rather than later.
Makes sense. I remember when my parents divorced when I was 5. My dad having getting classic dad gets on one knee, has a conversation with his son type deal.
Uh-huh.
So like at that moment he was like, "You're the man in the house now.
Yeah.
Gotta pull through." I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, "You're the one that's supposed to be the fucking man. like where are you going? Why are you putting this on me? Oh my god. Yeah, weird experiences when I was younger. As far as though weirdest time in my life, high school. High school was the absolute weirdest time in my life. Like, pretty much all of my major personal development and growth happened in high school, and pretty much all the best and worst times I've ever had in my life happened in high school. Like, it was a weird time.
I'd say most of the worst times for me happened before high school, and then most of my best times happened during high school.
Really?
But there were still a lot of bad times.
No, yeah, for sure. No, yeah. Worst times before?
Yeah, because I moved schools a lot,
yeah,
which is not fun, and then I moved to middle school, which is a very strange period of life for almost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
In the 7th or 6th grade or something like that. You start middle school 6th grade.
6th grade, yeah.
I think I missed the first semester, and I actually lived in a hotel for about 3 months, and we didn't have a house, and I just lived in a one-room hotel thing with my family. That was strange. It was like the sweet life of Zach and Cody, except I didn't have a twin, and and we were in a casino.
For sure. Sure. Yeah. Definitely I'm thinking, actually I'm trying to remember, what's the best time I've had in my life? I don't know. It's in the vault somewhere.
I still think when we were 17 and 18 was pretty fun. Like our 12th grade year.
So I was just looking back through my Tumblr today, and it showed what I had posted. It's a social networking site. It showed what I posted when, December of 2013, and that was my senior year in high school, and that was a very real time in my life. Senior year had some very, very real times. Definitely couldn't count 17 and 18 as W. Well, okay.
I would count it as the most change. Not most change. Most new things that we tried doing.
It was.
That's why I would say it was a W.
I drank alcohol for the first time. Committed my first felony. 18, I smoked weed, I guess. For the first time. What did we do? We got rid of friends, got new ones.
We did some switching out.
First girlfriend. Graffiti to school.
Our other high school.
Rival high school. Who shall name nameless. What else? I don't know.
Probably some other stuff.
Crashed a car.
Yeah. That's scary.
Oh. First mental hospital that I got admitted to. What else? Senior year. None of I don't know, maybe I'm just jaded. Not a lot of oh yeah, that cool thing. I don't know.
Did we do a senior prank?
We planned on doing a senior prank.
Yeah.
Let's tell them our play for a senior prank.
Was it the bomb thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. We, why did we end up not doing it?
I don't remember. Oh, it was because of the Sin Man stuff.
Oh, we got caught up with that?
Yeah. Well, because I was seriously getting, like, tailed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, alright. So, our senior year, everyone's got a senior prank, and, like, we're like, what's gonna be our senior prank, you know?
We did have a good senior prank. It wasn't able to be executed because of, like, this other person that we did not a prank on, but, like, some
illegal stuff,
crimes towards, so,
we did crimes toward this person, and thus the cops were, like, couldn't prove it was us, but was really, like, we were under the watch.
Oh, yeah. I actually got interrogated for, like, 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, literally 5 or 6 hours, and was getting tailed by the cops. So we had our neck out there for sure. We couldn't do shit without. Yeah, so yeah, we couldn't do this prank. But the one we had planned was we were going to create a fake bomb, sneak into school early in the morning, put it in our senior lawn, and then just kind of watch that happen. You know, watch a bomb squad come out.
We had like a timer rigged to it.
Yeah,
and we were gonna call a bomb threat.
I mean, like, some of you may not be into that, but you have to remember, A, not your senior prank. Number B, like, I don't know, we're in volatile times in our lives. You know, like, we were just really trying to get out there, do the craziest stuff that we could. If there was heroin, I probably would have did it. Like, you know, we're just trying to amp it up more and more. So that was our senior prank. Honestly,
probably good that we were getting.
And again, it was gonna be fake. It wasn't gonna be real. You fucking prudes. Like, don't get up our fucking ass. Like, you never called in a fake bomb threat. Like, fuck you guys. Anyway, we didn't do it.
We pulled a fire alarm to get out of the chem test one time.
Wait, what? I didn't do that.
No, I did.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No way.
I had a test in AP Chem and I didn't know it. I wasn't ready for it.
So you pulled a fire alarm.
Yeah.
So I guess that myth about blue ink kind of squirting on you and then looking for the person.
That never happened.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
When that fire alarm went off?
Which one?
Well, actually, we had
a legit fire at our school.
Oh, well, in our junior year.
Is that junior?
Mm-hmm. No. In our junior year is when I did it.
Oh. Yeah. I was talking about like the actual fire. There's like a huge fire that on top of one of our buildings that burned for a real long time, senior year. But you pulled the fire alarm junior year apparently.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. What did you end up taking the test?
Nope. It was right before spring break too, so we got all of spring break to not have to take it, or like we got all of spring break to review for it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great idea.
You must have been really desperate.
I wasn't that desperate. I just really couldn't. It was a classic Eddie. Like, I just really couldn't be bothered.
You couldn't be bothered, but you could take on the risk of pulling the fire alarm?
Yeah,
You can more aptly take on that risk than...
I figured, like, the worst... I don't really know. What was the worst they could have done? Chop my hands off? No, I wasn't that worried.
Give you a huge fine for calling out the...
Well, I would have rather got my hands chopped off than take that test that day, so... It was like a worthwhile trade for me.
Oh, well, okay. We're learning new shit about each other on the podcast. Yeah, fuck. I don't think I've done anything major that you don't know about, really. I don't think I've, like...
Yeah.
Or, like, I guess anything that...
I haven't... I mean, there's nothing that I'm, like, hiding. There might be something that I've just forgotten to mention.
Yeah. Yeah, weird youth. weird. As far as, like, typical youth gets concerned, like, I always tell Eddie, he's our roommate from the UK, and he's visiting, just, that... I hope you're not thinking that, you know, Ethan and I, we're just, like, normal Americans. This is what Americans are like. This is what America's like. Like, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're pretty fringe. I don't want to say, like, ooh, we're fucking underground or anything like, but, like, we're just not. I mean, you're listening to this fucking podcast. Like, I don't know.
Probably a freak, too.
What?
I just said they're
probably a freak. I mean, yeah, you're...
Who would listen to this?
Yeah, if you're listening to this, then, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know your life. I don't know your story.
What are you doing with your life, huh?
No, I mean, I don't know your story. That's fine. But yeah. Well, as far as, like, I was saying earlier, like, I don't remember what the happiest moment I've been. But there was pretty good time was like anytime that I got to like really just go out there and just be with my core 4 or 5 friends and we could just go do something like insane. Like that was always like the best of times, you know. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and that was always the best. You know? But also, quick thing, you also send us the craziest shit you've ever done. That'd be fucking cool. And I promise you, we've done crazier. We haven't even gotten into like the crazy shit that we've done.
Well, there's one thing that we did. Well, I don't even know if we're going to be ready to talk about that ourselves.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe we should just be ambiguous about it, but let's tell the story.
Maybe it should be a different night, honestly.
Different night?
Different night.
Are you sure?
That was it. That was just not a good time.
Wait. Are we talking about the same thing?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it.
Talking about statue.
Oh, I'm talking about something else.
What are you talking about? Give me a word. Give me a snippet.
That one city that had that one store.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. Was I there for it?
Was we were gonna love that place. What was that? What was that place called?
Acton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, why not?
There's also all that Superman stuff.
I don't want to talk about that because that's a specific person. Also, you just that wasn't smart. But okay. Well, instead of us just laughing to ourselves,
no, we'll just do the statue for tonight. The other one was that was insane.
Yeah, we'll just you'll learn throughout the podcast if you stay current what we've done. So in our hometown,
Can we say this? Can we literally say this and then put it on the internet? That's like
who listens to these podcasts?
Stupid fuckingest thing we could ever do.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, because if I say in our hometown, then...
It's just, we can't do that.
No, we can't. I'm sorry, viewers. We can't say that at all. We'll never be able to say that. We could actually probably... No, we...
could maybe, like, message you on, like, you know...
If you really want to know what we did... if you really want to know that bad, send us a message. I don't think we should even message it back to them because then that's a lot of liability.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, this whole little conversation's been a lot of liability for me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let's wait, hold on real quick. So, okay, never mind. Switch the topic. Let's see. What kind of music have you been listening to lately?
Just sad music mostly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. It's just like I actually didn't expect that. What kind of sad music are we talking?
It's like weird, like indie sad music, I guess. You know, like how in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World when they have that song, it's like where they get on stage and like we're gonna sing songs that make you think about death and loneliness.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna sing songs that make you think about death and you get sad and stuff.
Yeah, just like that.
For sure. Honestly, today's been kind of a bummer for me. Like, looking through all that and thinking about all of that, like, yeah. So, as far as, like, I'm just gonna be real fucking honest with y'all. As far as my emotional volatility goes, at least where it used to be, the happiest and saddest moments of my life had, oh god, I feel like a fucking asshole. Like, have to
pass?
No. Have to deal with just relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole because like that's such a cliche thing to say. Just like.
Well, I mean, if you're you're really heavily invested with people you're in relationships with. So
yeah.
It makes sense.
And so
And when you pour your heart into someone and then you get it ripped out of your chest, you're not going to be doing so well. Well, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. No, seriously. Okay, so, yeah, just it was the best of times. It was the absolute worst of times. Like the saddest I've ever been, I think, was when I. Sorry, I was getting distracted by this song in the background. So worst time. Well, I guess it's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all culminated around the same thing. So it was predating my first girlfriend. A lot of the interactions that we had um, was probably not good for my emotional psyche. Like, we were dating off to the side of her boyfriend at the time for like a solid year, and that kind of fucked with my head a lot of the time. Like, you can ask Ethan. Like, I was getting pretty weird with it. Like, it was affecting our friend group a lot.
Yeah. A little. I mean, it was love, so no one faulted you for it.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, Autumn.
Yeah.
Well,
not truly. I mean, not truly.
Not.
She was hurt and upset, but I don't think she thought you were bad.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, they really supported me. They're my friend group. Like, they wouldn't probably like hate me over it, but yeah. So that was like because I was always caught behind like this. Oh, kind of want you to be with me, but it's kind of weird because it's not kind of weird. It's sad because I see you with him while we're at school, but like when we're out of school, we're just hanging out and doing whatever and acting like we're dating. So that wasn't like the best. And then I remember like while we're doing this whole dating thing and whatever, we had this one conversation on the phone where she was like, I'm gonna get really real talk tonight. Like we had a conversation on the phone where she was like, I oh gosh, how did it go? Basically, she was just like, hey, like, I don't love you, and I want to, right? Like, but like I just don't. And I was like, that's okay. Like that, you can't make yourself feel something that you don't, you know. But of course, like that hurt to hear because of all the stuff that we'd done previously, you know. And yeah, that was probably like the culmination of that, and like other conversations that we had was pretty, But like best time, probably, and I swear to God, probably like the happiest I was ever in my life for like a moment was that same person and I went to go stargazing, and then like she had like this little beanie on her head, and then like I just kind of moved it off to the side and we started laughing straight up. That like solid 5 seconds was probably like the happiest I'd ever been.
Yeah.
Until now, until this podcast.
That is the new happiest.
I'd have to say, you listeners, you viewers who are still along for this train somehow, like, this has touched me.
Yeah. I would say a lot of happy times and sad, a lot of extremely happy / extremely sad times have come out of like romantic relationships for me. But it's kind of sad because once you date someone for a pretty long time and then you stop, you really think that like it's possible to have a future with them and stuff like that, and really like grow together as people, and then it fails for whatever reason. I guess it's hard because you don't feel necessarily like you can so like blindly love another person like
True.
that, which is sad.
Yeah, I mourn the loss of that person that I used to be. Like that, because that girl I was talking about, like she was my first, literally everything. First kiss, get my virginity, first girlfriend. I mean, fuck it, first person that like I ever like held hands with, type shit. I mean, like just like everything, and like at least in a romantic way, and just that naive thing, like this is gonna work out perfectly, guy. Like he's gone, and I still kind of getting over that. I'm still mourning that like loss of that stupid person, because now I'm just like in a whole new headspace where not that I'm more cynical, but I'm just not as naive, you know. So yeah, real talk. I mean, that's just
Yeah, I think I'm definitely not willing or wanting to give someone so much. of myself without expecting anything back, sort of. Like before, I would like just do whatever I could without expecting anything because I was in love. But now it's like, I don't know, it's hard to imagine that again, sort of. Like being pretty selfless without really expecting the person I'm with to like reciprocate that in some way. Because beforehand, I would never have thought of that. Basically, like I would just think like I'm just always going to do everything that I possibly can for this. But now it's like I don't know, different priorities, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, just like just being in a different fucking headspace. You know, you the how do I word this?
Well, yeah. Also, Okara and I are both generally pleasant people, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not trying to. We're not trying to have any sort of no negative vibes here. I'm just kidding. But like, I don't know. We both still have a lot of love to give, and I'm not worried about like being emotionally distant from people. Basically, these are just thoughts. But what were we gonna say?
No, yeah. I just here's the deal.
Oh wait, yeah. So tell them about your declining love balance.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's exactly that. Okay, so my declining love balance. That's what I describe as like that person I was like I dated for like about a year, and I'd never had a girlfriend before that point. And so my whole thing is I have like X amount of love, and she just shaved off like a bunch of it. Like packed up, like took it with her. You know what I'm saying? So like for the next person I date, I'm not gonna have like I'm still gonna be happy. I'm still gonna be invested, but I only have so much to give in my declining love balance. And then as that goes on, I mean, I'm thinking about like the time I'm like I think not even like at what age, just how many relationships I've been through. I think if I go through 2 more relationships, I should be.
It'll be out.
I'm pretty sure I'll be out of. I'm pretty sure I'll be out of funds.
Do you know that song?
Writing bad checks.
Another Love by Tom O'Donnell.
Yeah, I listened to that.
Actually. Yeah.
So.
Is that you, sort of?
Yeah. No, dude, literally.
Was that you when you were listening to it?
Yeah, I was like, can't cry anymore over this bullshit because use that on another love.
Yeah.
I'm like writing bad checks now.
Love balance on love. Bouncing.
Yeah, but
I definitely don't feel that way. I still feel like I have a lot of my heart to pour out and a lot of my love to give.
That's like not even fair though. Like, cause you've always been that kind of guy. Like, I just have so much love to give. Like,
I guess that's true.
Ethan's inherently a better person than me. Let's just get that kind of straight.
let's
just get that across to the viewers.
Edit that out.
We're not editing that shit out. But just to like, yeah. I mean, I'm just not at the place where I can just be like, so much love to give. My whole jive with all this is like, that person has to be. When I dated that person, I didn't know how much it was going to get hurt to get broken up with.
Yeah.
So then, now that I know, whoever I meet next has to be greater than that pain that I already know exists, and like that's a high price. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a tall order. I don't know if it's just now it's going to be just a lot more selective of a pool.
Yeah.
You know, but
like yeah, I remember we were saying like. So if we got sent back in time, knowing everything that we did now, both of us would say, "Fuck that noise."
Fuck that noise.
We're not doing it again.
Fuck that noise.
But I don't actually have any regrets because I'm like happy with who I am now, and if I change something in the past, I change in the future. So I don't have any regrets.
I've never had a stronger sense of self because of this, like ever. Like as far as like that kind of stuff, like I'm in a hella good place. Like I needed to go through that.
I wouldn't say it's the most It hasn't shaped me more than like I can think of some other stuff that's shaped me more, but like it made me really sad. It made me lose a lot of like hope in people in general. Sort of. I don't know. It's sad because like I see myself being a lot more like. How can I, like, what service can I provide for you? What service can you provide for me? Just, like, pragmatically viewing people, whereas a lot of other times I would just, give everything, and then if something happened to be returned, that would be awesome, but Otherwise, it was just that's just what I like to do. But I don't know why. It just I mean it hurts a lot when you're in love with someone and then they like hurt you and deceive you, I guess. So it does definitely take a toll on how you're able to just how much happiness you're able to put out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna real talk everyone again. Like I I'm like over it. Like I don't like I'm not like in my room being like, ah, fuck me. Like that's like, but I'm like still emotionally unavailable because that whole thing explained earlier of like the got to be like bigger than that. Um, to like, it was an odd experience. Uh, Ethan and our roommate Eddie have like been all over Tinder and just been like having a good time with that. And so I was like, gotta get myself a Tinder. And so got myself a Tinder yesterday. And
he's loving every second of it.
Well,
not really.
I had a legit thought, like I had a legit just experience where I was like, wow. I realized like, wait, why am I saying no to like so many? Like, why am I swiping left so much? Like 95% of the time, why am I doing this? And it was just like the people like it was almost like I was getting pissed. I was like, why am I getting so angry? I'm on Tinder. Like, why am I so pissed? I was like, because all of the girls seemed like bad derivatives of that girl I used to date. And it was just like a odd experience where I was like, oh wow, maybe I still got to work through some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, why am I so angry? And I'm like, oh yeah, because all of them are just like shitty example. Like, I joke with my friend Mitch. He's always saying that every car company is trying to build an Aston Martin. But like, you know, so they'll build like a Toyota and like, oh fuck, we didn't get it right this time. Like they're all trying to just build an Aston Martin. That's how it felt like on like Tinder. Like everyone was trying to be her, but was just like fucking up. You know,
wow.
Was like doing like a shit job. I know it was a very real talk day. It's been a very real talk couple of days.
So do you? Do you think you still admire who that person is at the moment, or just like what you used to have, or how does that work?
Um. So, like the person that she is now, I don't have a problem with. Like, it's not a bad person or anything. We've like grabbed like coffee a few weeks ago. Um, the person she is now is just kind of we're just so different now. You know, like we couldn't date again. Like she just was talking about a lot of things. I'm like, that's just so not who I am at this place and like time in my life. So that's not what I admire or even miss. It's I think I miss how happy and naive I was in those moments, or just like I miss that person when they used to be them. You know, like a year ago. You know, like that's like I'm still I don't I'm not at risk of you know being in love with the person that I know now, but I'm still mourning that person that I lost.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like, the person that I was with is dead and gone in a box somewhere and under the earth, and like this new person is just completely different than me. So that sucks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I'll get over it eventually. I don't know. I don't know how. Honestly, I used to really beat myself up over it. Like I used to be really pissed when I would like still think about it or anything.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
But I realized that it wasn't gonna work. Like I realized that it wasn't like actually making me get over that person. It was just bringing me a lot of.
Oh, Carl stopped dating this person.
How 5 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
After a year.
Yeah, about a year. Okay. So, like, I guess now I just kind of like I'll just let myself feel how I want to feel, and then wherever that goes, that goes. Yeah. So I'm not in love with that person, definitely at all. But I'm still probably more attached than is optimal to like certain memories that I have with that person, and I don't know if I'll ever get over that, or if I even should, or it's even the value judgment on that. But that's just kind of where I'm at right now. What about you?
Well, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of figuring out I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I was with someone that was in our friend group for like 4 years, and then we dated for 2 years, and then about a month ago, we broke up over like a 5-minute phone call, which was not fun. So there's still a lot of stuff I'm like thinking about, but there's also a lot of stuff that I am just moving on with in my life. So I don't know. My mentality is like I'm probably going to be sad for a while, and then eventually I'll just stop really being able to be sad, and I won't really feel a whole lot towards that person at all. And then I'll just start filling my life with people that, or not just start, letting new stuff in, basically. Not that I'm not right now. I don't know.
Yeah. I have to, like when this all went down, like the first couple of days, I was so melodramatic, to be honest. Just like, oh God, I guess this pain will just never stop. Or no, I didn't think that. I was at the place where I was like, I know it will. I can't wait for that. And
do you know one thing that I was thinking? Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No, what's up?
I don't remember if it was like when we were that last weekend when we were like high or drunk or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember thinking like, pain doesn't have a past tense or future tense or in present tense, or like pain is past, future, and present tense, and like your pain will always be with you. And I was like,
why do you think that?
I don't know if that's the case. I just remember thinking that at the time and having like an epiphany and being like, oh my God, this is so nuts. But does that make any sense?
As far as like on a philosophical level, I agree with you that pain is a part of humanity. You can't escape pain.
Well, if you experience like emotional pain, do you think that is ever gone? Like, do you ever get over it, sort of thing?
Are you asking, do you ever get over emotional pain, or do you ever get over a relationship?
Just any emotional pain, basically.
Emotional pain, I think that you'll get to a point where you can function. But I don't think you can ever get to a point where it doesn't hurt anymore. You'll just get better at dealing with it. But I was having a conversation with someone who was older, and they dated someone years and years and years ago. And they were like, to this day, if I still think about certain sad things that happened to that person, I'll cry.
Yeah, that's...
so it's just like, fuck. What do you even do at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, of course, they're not thinking about that person all the time because they're living a life, but just, like, that's just what happens, Yeah. Which also, something that really weirds me out.
I was just about to bring up the same thing that you're going to
say right now. Like, how do people date multiple people?
Oh, I was actually going to say something different.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, since the theme of this talk is kind of like relationships, just like everyone, if I have advice, it's like everyone should be careful because love is actually pretty nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. Like, it's basically like a form of insanity.
No, it is. It is definitely a form of insanity. You're saying, I'm going to pledge my life, my love, and everything I do to you as a person. Like, that's insane. If I go out to people and I'm like, hey, y'all are going to engage in this weird activity where y'all just become one person, and then either one of you has the power to fuck that up, and then just all of it's gone. Like, that, why would you ever do that? Like, that's like saying, hey, I put a bomb in my chest, and if I ever step on a crack, it'll just blow up. Like, why would you do that? Like, eventually it's going to happen. All love is going to end. Like, either that person's going to leave, or that person's going to die, or, like, whatever. Like, you're setting yourself up. It's insane.
I mean, it's worth it, but it's also pretty insane.
Well, that's another question. Is it?
I would say it's worth it.
The relationship was worth it for what it did for me, for how I grew. Was it worth it? And they're like, that was so fucking awesome.
I would say it's pretty awesome.
No, I mean, just for me personally, like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm just feeling jaded right now, just because I've had a kind of shit couple of days.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know. Fuck it. It was. I can speak intellectually and be like, yes, it was worth it.
I mean, like being a team with someone and being really close with someone, on like where you both know what like boundaries and expectations you have out of your relationship. That's pretty great.
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's just, you know, I don't know. When you let someone like know, I don't think I've ever actually let someone know me as well as that person has known me, at least at the time of who I was, you know. And that was, so when that person leaves, you can't help but at least emotionally internalize it as like, well, there must be something wrong with me, which of course is an easy thing to justify because they're leaving you because of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Overall, it's pretty hellish. I'm glad to be like where I'm at right now because I mean the first like 3 weeks was absolute insanity. Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know how y'all do that, but like, whoa. Yeah. So if you're like, okay, if you're like, should I get in a relationship with someone where just like, don't underestimate the cost. Still do it, I guess, but just don't underestimate the cost. I did that. I was like, oh, you know, I know this is gonna probably not end well, but fuck it.
One thing.
Like,
when did you? So, I think in my relationship, like, or relationships, I don't like know that I like. Is it like a love at first sight type of thing, or I would say it's more accurate to describe my relationships as like building love and then like growing together and like just really getting to know someone, and then that's when you start loving someone, when you know them pretty fully, or is it more just like innate?
you know what, for me,
Yeah.
it wasn't love at first sight, but I wasn't dating that person.
Like
when I fell in love with them.
How long did it take you to like be in share love with someone, basically?
Share it?
Or just know that you loved someone, I guess? I don't know. When did you know that you loved the person you were dating?
Before we dated. Like,
Okay.
Not because, but I don't, it was before we dated, but it wasn't like, because it was innate. Like, I don't know, I guess it's each to each viewer to like think
I'm saying
what's
like,
legitimately thinking you're in love or not. But like, when I was, I don't know, I knew her since like middle school. So like when I was like a sophomore in high school, we used to like play like this card game every day, or like at what was it, like that little advisement thing type deal, or like it was like basically like there's a part of school
intervention.
Intervention, that's what it was.
We had this weird program called intervention, and it was like, I mean, you know what intervention means?
Yeah.
They were saying that we needed an intervention. It was so weird.
So yeah, we did like a
and all students were required to go to it. So weird.
Like 20 minutes a day?
Yeah.
Something like that? Or like an hour, I don't know.
It was like 35.
35 minutes a day. Intervention. But yeah, so like, I mean, I remember thinking at the time, like I remember having a thought, like, I'm in love with this person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I don't even know what normal people do. Like, it honestly confuses me. Like, when, not that I think it's wrong, obviously, but like, it confuses me when people are like, you know, then I was in a relationship with someone, and then after like a month, I fell in love with them, just like I've never even had that experience yet. So it seems kind of foreign. Like, I don't even know how I date someone without like me just being totally head over heels like a fucking baboon.
I've never dated someone before I've been really good friends with them. So
sure.
I guess I mean, I guess I knew like on our like third date or so that I loved her, but yeah, but that was after like 2 years probably. So yeah, like the same as you, sort of.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. For everyone, it's different. Yeah. For this I don't know. I guess I'm prone to, because the girl that I had feelings for before that, I remember like a specific moment. It wasn't love first sight though. None of them were love at first sight, but they were just like, I had very real moments. I was like, oh shit, I love this person. Like it wasn't like anything like interesting was even happening. Like with that girl, I was like on a run. You know, like, and we like stopped at a stoplight, and I looked down, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm in love with this person. Mm-hmm. It was really weird. Life is weird. Love is weird.
Love isn't real. It's actually fake.
Yeah, I got very jaded after, I guess. So I know I said earlier that I wasn't that jaded. I guess I'm jaded. Like, but Ethan gets pretty upset at me. But I'll just at random times be like, well, you know, love isn't real. So he's not that into it. But
I'm more into it now. But
for sure. But yeah, it's
yeah.
What's it called? How do you feel like you're on track as far as like emotionally from that experience?
Pretty not okay, but like, so like, I'd say mostly just self-conscious. Nothing that I haven't actually allowed any of like the negativity to infiltrate like my conscious thoughts, like, oh wow, I'm actually just shit and deserve to be like manipulated and like used and stuff. But like just like sometimes I'll just unconsciously be like, oh yeah, well that makes sense, because I'm like, why would anyone want to love me, sort of.
Aw.
So
sorry. Yeah, so the shit's real in Thug Mansion. Did you already tell him that was Thug Mansion?
Huh?
I think we already told him that was Thug Mansion. But,
probably.
Yeah, I mean, you see what that kind of shit does to people? Like, I don't know. Okay, so an earlier thing I was like, what we're feeling right now, that kind of rawness, I don't know how people do this multiple times. Like, I don't understand how people sign up to do this. Like, hey, you know what? I was in it once, and I went through all of that. Let's get it going again. Or, like, my ex dated, like, 5 people before me or something. Like, I don't know how that's even possible. I would go insane on the 5th person.
I don't know if I could do 5, but, like, tomorrow... Well, like, the thing is, I don't just start dating someone. That's not how dating works for me.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Because, like, it's not like I'm going to just meet someone tomorrow and be like, I'm just going to randomly start dating you for a long time. That wouldn't make any sense to me. Because it's like, well, I mean, it's fine if you do that. I just wanted to do that, basically. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'd only... No, I guess I'm not speaking very coherently.
It's okay. It's our
second
podcast.
I could very easily just start going on dates tomorrow, but I don't think they would mean anything to me unless they were happy. I guess if I just randomly picked someone and I kind of liked them, and we started dating, and we dated for like 6 months, then I would consider that like a relationship.
I'd be hyper disappointed if I started dating right now. I'm sorry, all the ladies that are listening to our podcast. But,
I wouldn't be. I don't think I would be, because I'm not expecting it. I have very low expectations from almost everyone I know, besides like my like 10 friends.
No, my expectations are, as far as like people I meet in the street, the lowest. For like the person I date, the highest. That person has the highest bar to climb. Like, at this point,
yeah, they have a high bar, but like, unless I'm planning on marrying them, I don't really even care that much.
No, I couldn't even date him. I know I'm setting myself up to just be alone forever, but like, well, fuck him. Like, I'm okay with that. I'd rather be alone than get myself in a relationship that was kind of shit and then get hurt. Like, I can't. It has to be worth it, you know? At least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get fucked up easily. I'll get fucked. I mean, honestly, I feel fine with just putting the relationship on my back and carrying it for a while, and then I could just drop it pretty easily also.
Okay, y'all are gonna realize I'm pretty emotionally fragile as a person, so, like, there's no, like, what he's saying right now sounds insane to me. like I'm super emotionally fragile. Like every like little thing feels like the thunder is like coming down. I like keep a cool face, but for me to just be like on a date with someone and not be like having like a breakdown right now just doesn't even sound. I could keep like I could be like probably a good conversationalist and seem like interesting conversation and then think like, oh wow, that went pretty well. But like on the inside, I would just be like, Jesus fucking Christ, like probably be losing it a little bit. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel I think like my relationship ended in a really bad way. So, it was just very negative. Almost everything about it was as negative as you could imagine. Besides, like suicide, homicides, or homicide, suicides.
Suicide first.
No, you'd have to homicide then. Yeah. Well, you could have like a trap set up or something. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, that was weird. But
it's our fucking podcast.
Ended pretty poorly. So I don't really know why I said that, but I feel like I could just go into another relationship because I have very low expectations. And I feel like almost anyone could do a better job.
Well, that's your shout out, everyone. Ethan Palm is back on the market, and be sure to give him a jingle.
Just be a piece of shit, and then I'm fine with it.
There you go. Preferably non-pieces of shit, because he's a great person, and he is also, he doesn't like to admit it, a little bit fragile. So, like, don't be a piece of shit, or I'll kick your ass. But,
Whoa.
What? Fight me. Fight me.
Well, then you'll have two people fighting you.
Honestly, I don't care if y'all think I'm a piece of shit. That's fine with me. You're still listening to the podcast. Anyway. Well, that was our show today.
Yeah.
That's a week in review. I think that that went pretty well.
1 like equals 1 prayer, so please pray for me so I get better.
There you go. Oh, by the way, if y'all haven't noticed, we're very hardcore right-wing Christians or God-fearing people. So,
the wrath of God inspires us daily.
Like this picture if you love Jesus. Keep scrolling if you want to go to hell. So, All right. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll be putting them out every Sunday. And if you want to keep getting smarter with us, no, I was kidding. That would be. But yeah, we love you, great people, and see you next time.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.